Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are having taquitos. Alright you guys, welcome back to another mukbang, and I'm gonna show you guys really quick how I made this. And if you don't want to see how I made it, I'll put like a timestamp either right here somewhere, or I'll put it in the comments, probably in the description box also. So yeah, if you don't want to see that, you can fast forward to the actual mukbang. All right, hey guys, so today I'm going to be making some taquitos. This is just gonna be like a vlog style, very casual video. Yeah, so I have some leftover meat. I talked to you guys about this in my video, my ramen and cheese pizza video. So I ended up not making anything. So I ended up not filming that night, so it's the next day. But so we have some leftover meat. You guys want to see my fridge? The light bulb is out, so gotta get that replaced. But yeah, this is what my fridge looks like. Kind of tried to organize it a bit. That has some mango that needs to get eaten. But yeah, this is what my fridge looks like. Okay, so down here, look at this is from the weekend. These are steaks. So this is leftover. So we're gonna be using this. But yeah, I have all this. Well, there's not too much of this left. This is like pollo asado. That'll be easy to use up. But anyways, it's this. These are like actual steaks. It's really heavy. This has to be like 5 pounds, probably. I'm not sure what part of the cow this is, but it's already been grilled. It's kind of hard, like tough. So I'm gonna try and soften it up and season it so that we can use the meat for taquitos or enchiladas or something. So, oh, this is my door too. Lots of condiments. Okay, so we're also going to need, whoops, some, we're gonna be using that salsa. Gotta get that used up. Got some tomatoes. Some tomatoes in here. I think we're gonna use these. I don't know. I'm gonna take them out just in case. Okay, my kitchen's a little messy, so we got bags of chips open up over here. So we're gonna use an onion and some garlic. So we have tomato, onion, garlic. We got the steak, and then actually I think instead of the tomato I want to use this El Pato sauce. Yeah, I think instead of the tomato I'm just gonna use this El Pato sauce. I think. I don't know. I'm just kind of like going with the flow. Don't really have a specific recipe I'm following. I'm just trying to use up this meat. And then my spice cabinet, I have, look, I tried to be like all like Pinterest and everything, but I have so many spices that just kind of stuff got. Anyways, so this, I bought this, some beef bouillon cubes. Okay, so I cook it in the Instant Pot to make it soft, and it'll like pressure cook it. It's already cooked, so I'm hoping it'll just like soften it up and be like shreddable so that we can put it in taquitos. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna throw everything in the pot. We got the steaks in there. Okay, so we're gonna put one of these beef bouillon packets in. Just like that. And then I'm also I'm gonna add probably like half of this can right here. And this is just like a tomato salsa. I'm gonna put like half of this in. You know what? I'm just gonna do the whole thing. And then I'm gonna fill this with some water. Probably do like 2 of these. I think that should be enough liquid. I don't want too much liquid in this, that's the thing. So we have our tomatoes, onions, the garlic is in there somewhere. I'm just gonna move these down into the liquid, and yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna put in there. So that's what it looks like. Fingers crossed that this turns out good. If it doesn't turn out good, then you guys won't see the rest of this video. Alright, so lid on, and we're gonna put it on meat stew. I think I'm just gonna do 20 minutes because the meat is already cooked. So, and I'll put it on more. So I think that's good. So I'm gonna let this cook. It's gonna come to pressure. Make sure that it's on seal. So it's gonna come to pressure, then it will cook for 20 minutes. And then I'm just gonna let there's like a little safety thing here. So I can either like physically release the pressure, but I'm gonna let it depressurize on its own. And fingers crossed that it turns out good and I can use it for taquitos or something. It's usable, you know? So wish me luck. I'll see you guys in about probably like 40 minutes. For you guys, it'll be like a second. Alright, you guys, so the meat has been done for 53 minutes, so just over an hour. Let's open it up and see what it looks like. Sophia's playing Cold War, if you can hear her in the back. Alright. I mean, it looks pretty good. Let's see if it's... Oh, yeah. Did you guys... It just fell off the bone. Part of it just fell off that bone. So I think this will be pretty good. A little smoky from the barbecue, but it has good flavor. We're gonna shred this. It's a couple hours till dinner time, so I'm just gonna like have it ready to go. I'll probably make up a couple. Alright, so we're just gonna shred it. Break it off in chunks. Hopefully it's in focus, but it just kind of like falls apart. Okay, so we have the meat shredded. This is what it looks like. I ended up adding a little bit of the broth to this so it stays moist, you know? Right here. These are the ones that I use. Guerrero. Take a stack, wrap it in paper towel. Oh, there's a glass there. Put it in the microwave. I'm gonna put this on probably for like a minute. Those are gonna get soft. Now to a pan, vegetable oil. I'm gonna pour some in, I don't know, like just a thin layer. Do that. Where it goes about halfway up the tortilla. And I'm gonna put it on like a medium-high heat. So I'm gonna let that warm up. My tortillas are warming up. And then we're gonna come and fill them. That's it. So you're gonna get your tortilla, stuff it with the meat, and then just kind of roll it as tightly as you can. And then some people use toothpicks. Some people don't. I don't. Just make sure when you put it in the pan, you put it down. And I actually need to heat these up. If they start cracking like this, it means that they're not hot enough. So I need to keep heating these up. Okay. Again. Okay. Grab your tortilla. Put some meat in it. Roll it and then make sure it's face down. Or you can do toothpicks. just like that. Alright, so I have my rolled tacos. I'm just waiting for my oil to heat up. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's hot. You can always test it, the oil, with like a wooden spoon or something, a wooden spatula or a chopstick even. And if it starts bubbling at the wood, then that's how you know your oil's hot enough. Okay, so we're gonna fry these for about, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes each side, depending on how hot your oil is, and then we're gonna flip them, and then they'll be done. All right, so it's been a couple minutes. We're gonna go ahead and flip these. I turned my oil up just a little bit hotter because I want them to be real crispy. I want to get a good crunch when we bite into it. Nothing's worse than a taquito that's not crunchy when you bite into it. This is some meat that fell out. I'm just gonna put it on a plate. When the taquitos are almost done, make sure you have a plate or a platter of some sort with some paper towels or even like a light kitchen towel, whatever you use, ready to put the taquitos on so that it absorbs the grease, the extra grease. So yeah, these are gonna cook for a couple minutes, a couple more minutes. Probably not for too much longer because remember I just turned up the heat. So, all right. So these are pretty much done. You want to make sure you kind of shake them off because oil gets on the inside. Now we're ready for our next batch. I decided that I'm going to make some Mexican rice. I'm going to show you the really easy, lazy way that I make my Mexican rice. So you're going to need some white rice, preferably long grain rice. I've been using this brand. I really like it. I find that I don't have to rinse it. I don't know if it's like pre-rinsed or whatever, but yeah, I find that I don't have to rinse it. You can if you want. With any other brand, I always rinse it, but this I find it turns out perfectly fine. But anyways, you're gonna need some vegetable oil or whatever kind of oil you want. This is my cheat. It's caldo de tomate. So it's like chicken bouillon, but it's tomato. It's like a tomato broth. So I'm just gonna make a small pot. I'm gonna do 1 cup of rice and I'll show you guys how I do it. Okay, so I put my pan on like a medium high heat, put it on number 7, and make sure you're using a pan that has like a heavy bottom. Usually if you make Spanish rice, you have a favorite pot that you like to use. This is my favorite pot. Turns out perfect every time. Yeah, so you want to do a couple of swirls of oil in the bottom, let that heat up. Oil is heated and we're gonna toast our rice. And we're gonna make sure each grain of rice is coated with oil. Sorry, I'm scraping. So we're gonna toast this for a couple minutes until it gets like a golden brown. You just want to keep your eye on it, make sure it does not burn. This takes a couple of minutes. It doesn't take too long at all. Okay, so while this is browning, I'm going to get my liquid ready. So for every cup of rice, you want to use the same cup. This is the trick that I do. It turns out perfect every time. So I use the same cup, and you can use broth or water. I'm gonna do a mix. Since I have the beef broth here, I'm gonna use a cup of this liquid. Wow. I'm just gonna reserve it here. Okay, so that's 1 cup. So for every cup of rice, you wanna do an extra cup of water. So if I have 1 cup, I'm gonna do 1 cup of water plus an extra one. So if I have 2 cups, I'll do 2 cups plus an extra cup, if that makes sense, right? So if you have 3 cups, you're gonna do 3 cups of liquid and then an extra cup. Okay, I hope that makes sense. We usually, 1 cup of rice is pretty good for just the 4 of us, we'll have a little bit of leftovers. So Sophia really loves this rice, so I find that 2 cups is just too much. So yeah, we're just doing 1 cup of rice. See how it's starting to get a little golden in some spots. I like mine a little bit more than that. I forgot to mention that whatever pan you use, make sure you have a lid for it. If you don't have a lid for the pan you're going to use, some people like to cover it with foil. That's an option also. But you just want to make sure you have a lid for your rice. Okay, so I think that's about good. I like to go just a little bit darker, but for time's sake, I'm just going to call it good right here. Okay, so that's what we're looking like. I'm going to add just, if I can do this with one hand. Okay, I'm just going to add that's like a tablespoon of that. I'm going to add my liquid. That's 1 cup. 1 cup of water. I'm going to mix it. And it's already coming to a boil. If your heat is lower and it's not boiling yet, so now that that's calmed down, I still have it on the same heat level. I'm just gonna bring it up to a boil. Look, there's some meat in there. I'm just gonna leave that in there. Okay, so I'm just going to bring it to a simmer. Wait until it starts simmering. Okay, so it's already simmering. I'm going to turn the heat down to low, or 1, and then get my lid, the lid on it, and we're gonna cook this for 20 minutes. And do not touch it for 20 minutes, okay? Do not touch the lid, leave the lid on, and let it cook on low for 20 minutes, okay? All right, time is up on the rice, guys. It's done cooking. Look at how beautiful that looks. Now this is where I like to just take from the top and make sure it's done. Make sure it's not crunchy. It's not crunchy. Take from a few spots just in case. Nope, perfect. Okay, and this is where I like to fluff it up. Make sure there's no liquid at the bottom. If there's a liquid still at the bottom, then go ahead and let it cook for a little bit, but leave the top off, especially if your rice is done. If your rice is not done and there's still liquid at the bottom, just close it back up real quick and let it cook. And if your rice is not done and there's no liquid at the bottom, add a little bit of liquid and let it continue to cook and put the lid right back on. I've had that happen to me a few times. Yeah, so I take a fork and then I just kind of like move along the bottom just to make sure there's nothing sticking, because this isn't a non-stick pan. Okay, so once I have that, then I just kind of like cut it, and it's pretty good because I don't want to mush the rice. Just kind of like fluff it up, and that's it. And you have Spanish or Mexican. Alright, welcome back to another mukbang, you guys. Today I made some homemade taquitos. I have some steak ones, and I also ended up making some chicken ones because my son did not like the flavor of the steak. So, and then right here I just have a plate of rice and beans. I showed you guys how I make my really simple and easy Mexican rice. I have some homemade green salsa, and then I have some sour cream. And I have a beer. I'm gonna have a cerveza. Corona, that's what beer we drink here sometimes. No, mostly Corona. We'll drink other stuff too, but always Corona. So, cheers, guys. Is it ladylike? I don't really care. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a couple of these, a couple of chicken ones. Okay, I have more chicken ones off to the side. I just want to make sure there's enough for my kiddos. All right, so I'm just gonna layer these as I go, I guess. Sour cream, and then salsa. You could top these with shredded lettuce. I didn't feel like cutting lettuce, so you could top it with avocado. You can do sliced tomatoes. Are you gonna focus? Come on. I'm trying to give you guys a bite. I think it's focusing. Yeah, hopefully. All right, let's see. Which one is this? This is a chicken one. Bomb. Beans are just frijoles de la olla, just plain beans. You could sprinkle with a little bit of cheese, cotija or cheddar, whatever you like. So the chicken, I didn't show how I made the chicken ones. I showed how I cooked the steak ones. But the chicken, I just ran out and got a rotisserie chicken. And while it was warm, I shredded it. I took all the fat and everything out, the bones. And then I just did the same thing. Rolled them up and fried them. That's an easy hack if you're like short on time and you want to make a quick meal. Run out, get yourself a rotisserie chicken, shred it, roll it in some tortillas and fry it. You got yourself a taquito. Super simple. I learned that from my from Jose's aunt. I would have never. She does like enchiladas like that too. And it's a good deal. You don't have to cook your own chicken. And the chicken is usually a lot softer. I wish I had some guacamole. Alright, this one is a steak one. You can tell it's brown in there. No makeup today, guys. Not even sorry about it. For the steak ones, I usually like to have a red sauce with it, like a red salsa. But I have this salsa that needs to get eaten, so we're just using this. Antonio said the steak tastes like it had barbecue sauce on it, which it's not sweet at all. Not even a little bit sweet. It's just the grill, the smokiness of it. He didn't like that. It's still very soft. Not too dry because I cooked it in broth. You know what actually you could do? You could save the broth and like dip your taquitos in it. Oh, it's just the shadow of the tree. I thought somebody was on my back porch. That scared me. I went to a restaurant one time and they served taquitos with, I got chicken taquitos and they served it with like a chicken broth. It was pretty good. I'd never had that before. The broth that was in the meat is it was very rich. So it was more full of flavor. That's why I used it in the rice when I cooked the rice. I used the broth. I used half water and half broth for the rice. And the beans I already had cooked. Man, this would be so good with some guacamole. I wish I had some. I have avocados, they're just not ripe. I tried to get some of like different ripeness. So I try to get some that are green, some that are like ready to use right away, and then some that are like close to being ready to use. But when I went to the grocery store, they were all green. All very hard. This rice actually has really good flavor. And the brand that I use, El Mexicano, I've noticed that when I make Spanish rice with it, it turns out perfect. When I use a different brand of long grain rice, and with rinsing it out and everything, sometimes it turns out mushy, but I use the same measurement. So I don't know what the difference is with this rice, but it turns out perfect for Spanish rice. I get it from the Mexican aisle, like the international foods aisle. But yeah, so this is the only rice I use for Mexican rice now. The chicken is so good. Now you can add cheese to these. You can do beans and cheese. You can do a lot of things. I decided to leave the cheese out. I know, surprise, right? So my next recipe video, let me know what you guys like. Do you guys want to see just a recipe video, and then the next day, like the next video will be me eating it? Or do you like to see it together? The recipe plus the mukbang? Or do you want to see like a recipe with like a taste test? I might do a little bit of everything, but I just want to get a feel of like what you guys like, what types of videos you guys like. I feel like you guys like the mukbang, so I'll do like maybe like short recipes in the beginning, just like a real simple description. The video chopped up. Today's video is kind of like vlog style because I'm like no hair or makeup done, like nothing professional, just just me cooking in my kitchen dinner, you know. So let me know what style you guys prefer or would like to see. Because I know in my recipe videos, even though I do a taste test at the end, some of you guys want to see me actually sit down and eat it mukbang style. So I'll probably do a little bit of both and see what you guys like, or a little bit of each style to see what you guys like. You can never go wrong with taquitos. So good. So crunchy. So I think my next recipe video is going to be frijoles charros. I never ended up making them. Why didn't I make them? I don't know why. I forget why. I think maybe because Jose just wanted beans and eggs. So that's what I made. I don't know. Either way, I never ended up making it. So I had to freeze the stuff so it wouldn't go bad. So I'm going to make frijoles charros. They're so good. So good. Very easy too. The flavor of this steak is like so rich. I think it's the smokiness. It just gives it a whole different flavor. It just makes you keep wanting to eat more. It keeps you wanting more. which is good, right? I'm gonna put a little more salsa on this. I hope you guys try them. I'm sure a lot of people already know how to make them, but if you don't, hopefully I made it simple for you to learn how to do. I saw a video where this girl, she took, I think it was an older lady, when she didn't feel like cooking, like a simple dish, she would take frozen taquitos, the ones you get from the frozen section, and she'd put them in a baking dish, cover them with salsa, and then put cheese on them and throw them in the oven. I just don't like the ones from the store. They're too, I feel like there's too much tortilla, not enough meat. Way better if you cook them on your own. You can put as much or as little meat as you want. You can flavor the meat however you want. You can add cheese. You can do whatever your heart desires, you know? Jose just got home. He's on his motorcycle if you didn't hear it. But yeah, Jose just got home. Perfect timing. He's coming through the door right now. If you guys are new here, please consider subscribing to become an A-lister. Hit that notification bell. Make sure your notifications are turned on and set to all. Leave me a comment down below. Share this video with your family and friends. And I will see you guys soon with a brand new video. Bye.